Right, can you see anything wrong here? Anything at all wrong? Looks good to me.
This is the new merch that's coming out, and you better get it today because it'll almost be sold out. Subscription below so you can get this amazing, fantastic cup that has ever been born in the cup history.
Right, so we have a 2007 Ford Transit here, and there was a lot of loud banging coming from the engine. Now I have taken off the belt, so the belt didn't actually come off, but it's always a good, I'll show you in a second, but it's always a good idea once you have a belt off to check everything, make sure there's no play and stuff. But as you can see, get my hand down here, just how bad the bottom pulley is. And now my hand's stuck. So bottom pulley completely gone, but look at also what I found. So I pulled all these are all good. The top tensioner, if we can listen, top tensioner destroyed. Oh sorry, the top idler, sorry, top idler gone. The tensioner here is also, maybe you can't see, but the tensioner is also gone. So we need a fan belt, a tensioner, an idler, the rear pulley, or the bottom pulley, the bottom crankshaft pulley. Also this, you can hear that. Now that's okay, it's all good. There's no movement side to side or up and down, it's just movement in and out, but everything else is absolutely fine, so that's normal enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to order the parts we need and we're going to fit them. So yeah, that was all. And the noise, unfortunately I turned it off because it was just making that much noise. I didn't want to turn it back on because that was moving so much it could damage the cover. Worst case scenario, go into the cover and slip the timing off. It was just really bad, so I don't want to start this any longer than what was really needed. So I'm just going to put the new stuff on and I'll show you the old pulley once we get it off. Right, this is now Saturday and unfortunately can't get all the parts until the following Tuesday. It's just a problem with Ireland sometimes. We managed to get the main pulley. The main dealer didn't have any. Two manufacturers didn't have any, but the third one did. We've also managed to get the tensioner for the fan belt. Cannot get the fan belt. I know that sounds crazy. Can't get the fan belt until Tuesday. And this top idler, can't get it till Tuesday. But at least I can start fitting some of the stuff. This is the rubber that's actually in there. So the rubber here is going to be in some way damaged in and around here, I'm guessing. Can't see yet. Take off the 3 bolts. Not going to be able to film that because as you can see it's really tight. I can't even get the camera in there. Really tight between the fan, the cowling and the actual main pulley itself. But what I'm hoping to do, there should be enough room where I don't have to take the viscous fan off, which is there, and the cowl. Now the cowl just slips off quite easy. I'm going to take the viscous fan off because it's just 3 bolts there, 3 15mm bolts, and the whole bracket and fan will come off. Then this cowl will just lift up and it'll just make it easier for me to get to the bolts. Most we can do it without, but again, because it only takes a few minutes, might as well make our life a lot easier. Right, we've got everything off. As you can see, I've also removed the idler because it was in the way of the 3rd bolt, which was this one here, to get the viscous fan off. I was just about to praise Ford a lot because to get the fan off, 3 bolts, really nice and easy. Not like you have to take off the big nut and it's normally a left-hand thread and it doesn't spin. You have to grab the pulley. It's just a bit of a nightmare. Ford has made it really, really easy. Just about to say, nice job. They've also made the radiator cowl really easy. No bolts, no nothing. Just 2 little clips at the bottom which you just push in with a screwdriver and it lifts up. So, see them clips there? You push them in. The whole thing lifts up. That's the brackets. The whole fan is 1 unit, which is brilliant. Nice and easy. But when you press them 2 buttons in to lift up the fan housing, they don't give you enough room here. You have to bend it out like this of the front cross member and lift it up, which it works, but it's just bloody annoying. Now look, we can get to these 3 bolts here. And hopefully now you can really see now, look, just as I thought, the rubber's completely gone. So makes just my life a hell of a lot easier. Also, it's a hell of a lot easier undoing this now with the radiator fan out of the way. Again, completely possible to do it inside when it's there, but for the sake of a couple of bolts and a few minutes, makes life a lot easier. 15mm, 3 15mm nuts for that, 15mm nut for the top idler, and a 13mm for the fan belt tensioner, which should be relatively straightforward. Just one 13mm bolt, which is good, not from the back like some cars, which are really annoying. Not going to be loose enough now, didn't think so. And if I remember correctly, it's going to be 3 15mm for this. Again, a lot easier with an impact gun, but of course the radiator's in the way, and I'm not going to take out the radiator and the front of it just to get them bolts off. This now is completely in there, which shouldn't be that tight. We're going to use Sierra's favourite tool, as you saw in my last video, or one of my last videos. Wow, that was tight in there. I think it was on the Twingo, and there we go. Now, might not be able to hear this. Hopefully you can hear that. So that tension is completely gone. And this one, same thing. Can I wiggle this one-handed? No, but anyway, you heard that on. Completely shut too. Now we've got to try and get this bottom one off. Oh, that's what I get for praising Ford. So even when I did all that, yes, it made it easier to get everything off, and it's a lot easier to get to things, but I still can get the bottom pulley off. So what I had to do is take the front radiator support off. It's just 2 bolts here. I've left the front bumper on because I could just take the screw out and get to the bolt there. Same this side. A T25 for the cold air intake was just there, but that was also bolted to this. What that allowed me to do is lift this out of the way, take the radiator out of its support, lift it up, and as you can see now, look, I can get my big gun in and take them 3 bolts off really easy. But you can just see it has to go underneath there, so I have to lift the radiator up and screw it out at the same time. You can see the radiator mounts are here, so it's completely out of its mounts, and then I can get to it. I did try and grab it with vice grips to stop it from moving, just no good. I also did try put it in gear, put my feet, well, I wedged the foot pedal brake, but again I was just going to do damage, so this is the only way of doing it. Nightmare. Got it off. You can see that's how tight I was using the vice grips on it, and just no good. So as you can see, we've lost the rubber around here. This is the back side, this is the side you can't see. There's a little rubber around here, and when you turn it over, that's what it should look like. But this one, look, the rubber's completely split, which is causing it, actually, you see that there, look, causing the whole center to come out. See that? So the whole center, it's not doing it now, but you saw it a second ago, the whole center is coming out, so that's now no good. Put the new one in. Obviously this is a good time if your seal is leaking to replace your seal and stuff and do all that, but you can see the marks that it was actually hitting on the timing case cover, which is obviously what you don't want. Right, I said I'd just quickly start it to make sure there's no other rattles or bangs or anything like that. Obviously the fan belt's not on, the fan isn't spinning, but it's only for a few seconds, and as you can see it sounds perfect. There's no massive vibration, so there's no damage done to the bottom crank. It started nice and easy, so we're all good. I made a little mistake, not a big deal. So I've got all the front back on, the 13mm bolts, the Torx and everything, so, and the radiator is back in situ, and obviously the new pulley is on, and I've just put the new tensioner on too. It's only one 13mm bolt, so easy enough to do. Still waiting on the fan belt and the top idler, but that's, have to do that another day. A few seconds for you, a couple of days for me. But what I should have done, I should have put the fan down and the cowling down when this was off, because it's just a little bit easier. It's not the end of the world, I can still get it on. It just would have been a bit easier. This top pipe clips into the top of the cowl. You can see the 2 little clips there for it, and that's, yeah, so it's just going to be a little bit more awkward now, but not a big deal. And I have to put that on because the fan belt goes through that pulley. So, and then, but that doesn't affect me putting, where is it? Why can't I see the top pulley where it goes on? What the hell? Oh. Seriously, I can't see where it goes on. Like, seriously. Shit. This is the bolt for it. Because these 3 bolts are for the fan. So there it is. But I can put the fan and everything back on. I can put that on afterwards. It's just easier to get to a couple of the bolts with that off. But I have to get a new one anyway, so it's no odds. Right, it's a bit awkward, but lay the fan inside the cowling so the fan isn't connected at the minute. But before you put them down, because they're clips, make sure the top is lined up. If you push that down and this clip isn't at the top, it's really awkward to get the clip out. Ask me how I know. So they're in both ends. Now this here, you just see the clip there. If I just pull that out, there you go, look, that's the clip. There's one and there's 2 clips there. This has to go underneath and in there just to stop it from flapping around. It's all back, fans on, all good. Now, a couple of seconds for you, 3 days for me, so I can get that pulley and the fan belt. And then we can actually get this van back up and going again properly. And we've already started it, so we know the engine is fine. There's nothing wrong, it hasn't done any damage or anything like that, which is always a good thing. It's just got to wait for parts now. Right, a few seconds for you, a few days for me. Got the new idler. It is a plastic one, but it's the same as the metal one, supposedly the same strength and all that. New belt. Can't really show you putting this on, there's just no room, but the tensioner or the idler wheel is the same size, the same space at the back, everything's the same. It's just plastic rather than metal. But then the idlers or the tensioner for the fan belt's plastic anyway, and most of them are, so it's not really a big deal as long as it's the same sort of strength. Right, let me tighten that up. Right, we are all done. Unfortunately I couldn't get the noise obviously this was making before, but you can just imagine what it was like. Simple enough job, just awkward. So the new belt's on. Let's see what it sounds like now. Does it all work? We know the engine sounds okay because we had it running without, but let's hear everything else. Is the power steering pump still working? Is the battery light on or off? You know, is it still charging? Has it done any other damage? We have to check all that. Battery light's off, power steering is working. It all looks good. Yeah, it looks good. Sorted. Right, so we're all good. That's the number for on playing at home. It's actually a 2684. It's only 1mm smaller. They didn't have, even though we had to order this. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. 1mm bigger or smaller doesn't matter. So there we go. We are all done. It sounds good. It's back up and working. And there we go. So as always, hope it helps. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget, links up here, links down below. But most important, never get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.